Is this okay?
Yeah, you're watching the set come in.
Yes. Camera, where do you want it?
Screen தெரியுது.
Oh, push it further.
அது.
You cannot see Swamiji?
இல்ல இது பாருங்க, அங்கே பாருங்க.
Yeah, that's good.
Oh.
Taller? Like.
No.
You want it at that height? Okay, I'm holding it up over the box. Hold on.
இப்ப தெரியுதே.
I think once a little taller.
இல்ல அது இது பண்ண வேண்டாம். புக்
bye.
இப்ப சரி. Correct. அவ்வளவுதான்.
Oh, that is not moving.
இல்ல இத just lift this. Keep that laptop on this. That good?
Oh, the camera is on that now.
Oh, they want to raise that.
That is what we were doing. That was being raised.
அது வைக்க முடியாது.
இப்ப correct
இப்ப சரியா இருக்கே
சரி.
Why that thing is being seen?
இல்ல that won't move. அவ்வளவுதான் really.
Yeah, that's what.
என்ன தெரியுது?
Those thing, whatever you call them, those risers. Can't do anything.
அது பரவாயில்லப்பா.
பரவாயில்லையா?
It's okay. That will come.
That will show any which way.
I keep thinking the camera is on this.
No, that is showing.
That's okay.
ठीक है.
That you can do.
இல்ல தானே அது பின்னாடிலாம் தெரியுது.
मौनव्याख्या प्रकटितपरब्रह्मतत्त्वं युवानं चेष्टान्ते वसदृषिगणैः आवृतं ब्रह्मनिष्ठैः आचार्येन्द्रं करकलितचिन्मुद्रमानन्दमूर्तिं स्वात्मा रामं मुदितवदनं दक्षिणामूर्तिमीडे वटविटपि समीपे भूमिभागे निषन्नं सकलमुनिजनानां ज्ञानदातारमारात् त्रिभुवनगुरुमीशं दक्षिणामूर्तिदेवं जननमरणदुःखच्छेददक्षं नमामि चित्रं वडतरोर्मूले वृद्धा शिष्या गुरुर्युवा गुरोस्तु मौनं व्याख्यानं शिष्यास्तु छिन्नसंशयाः निधये सर्वविद्यानां विषजे भवरोगिणां गुरवे सर्वलोकानां दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ॐ नमः प्रणवार्थाय शुद्धज्ञानैकमूर्तये निर्मलाय प्रशान्ताय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः ईश्वरो गुरुरात्मेति मूर्तिभेदविभागिने व्योमवद्व्याप्तदेहाय दक्षिणामूर्तये नमः विश्वं दर्पणमोलकं ദർപ്പണദൃശ്യമാനനഗരീ തുല്യം നിജാന്തർഗതം പശ്യന്നാത്മനി മായയാ ബഹിരിവോർഭൂതം യഥാ നിദ്രയാ യത്സാക്ഷാത് കുരുതേ പ്രബോധസമയേ സ്വാത്മാനമേവാദ്വയം തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ ബീജസ്യാന്തരിവാങ്കുരോ ജഗതി തം പ്രാങ്നിർവികൽപം പുനഃ മായാകൽപിതദേശകാലകലനാ വൈചിത്ര്യചിത്രീകൃതം യാവീവ വൃജംഭയത്യഭിമഃ യോഗീവയസ്വേച്ഛയാ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ യസ്യൈവ സ്ഫുരണം സദാത്മകമസത് കൽപ്പാർത്ഥകം ഭാസത്തെ സാക്ഷാത് തത്വമസീതി വേദവചസാ യോ മുദ്രയാ സാക്ഷാത് കരണാത് ഭവേന്ന പുനരാവൃത്തിർഭവംബോ നിധോ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ അനാച്ഛിദ്രഗഡോദരസ്ഥിതമഃ ഇവ പ്രഭാഭാസ്വരം ജ്ഞാനം യസ്യ തു ദ്വാരാ ബഹിസ്പന്ദതേ ജാനാമീതി തമേവ ഭാന്തം പാത്യേതത്സമസ്തം ജഗത് തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ ദേഹം പ്രാണമപീന്ദ്രിയാണ്യപി ചലാം ബുദ്ധിം ച ശൂന്യം വിദുഃ സ്ത്രീബാലാന്ധജഡോപമാസ്ത്വഹമിതി ഭ്രാന്താവൃശം വാദിനഃ മായാശക്തിവിലാസകൽപ്പിതമഃ വ്യാമോഹസംഹാരിണേ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ രാഹുഗ്രസ്തദിവാകരേന്ദു സദൃശഃ മായാസമാച്ഛാദനാത് സന്മാത്രകരണോപഹം വരണതോ യോ ഭൂസുഷുപ്തഃ പ്രാഗപ്സ്വാപ്സമിതി പ്രബോധസമയേ യപ്രത്യഭിജ്ഞായത്തെ
തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ ബാല്യാദിഷ്വപി ജാഗ്രതാദിഷു തഥാ സർവാസ്വവസ്ഥാസ്വപി വ്യാവൃത്താസ്വനുവർത്തമാനമഹമിത്യന്തഃസ്ഫുരന്തം സദാ സ്വാത്മാനം പ്രകടീകരോതി ഭജതാം യോ മുദ്രയാ ഭദ്രയാ തസ്മൈ ശ്രീഗുരുമൂർത്തയേ നമ ഇദം ശ്രീദക്ഷിണാമൂർത്തയേ വിശ്വം പശ്യതി കാര്യകാരണതയാ
സുസ്വാമി സംബന്ധതഃ ശിഷ്യാചാര്യതയാ തഥൈവ പിതൃപുത്രാധ്യാത്മനാ
ഭേദ
स्वप्ने जाग्रति वाय एष पुरुषः असभ्रामितः तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये आस्वनिलो निलम्भरमहर्नादो हिमांशुः पुमान् इत्याभाति सराचरात्मकमिदं यस्यैव मूर्त्यष्टकम् नान्यत्किञ्चन विद्यते विमृशतां यस्मात् परस्मात् विभो
तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुटीकृतमिदं
यस्मादमुष्मिंस्तवे
तेनास्य श्रवणात् तदर्थमननात्
ध्यानाच्च सङ्कीर्तनात् सर्वात्मत्वमिति स्फुतिसहितं स्यादीश्वरत्वं सदा सिद्धेत्यत्तदा वर्णं च ऐश्वर्यमव्याहतम् So in the third verse, which we completed in the last class, Jivatma Paramatma Aikya was revealed. Paramatma was revealed as the very existence obtaining in the world, and Jivatma is the very consciousness obtaining in the individual. And the Aikyam is a revelation of the fact that the existence in the world and the consciousness in you, both of them are one and the same. And therefore, when you look at the Atma from the standpoint of the macro world, it is called Paramatma. When you look at the very same Atma from the standpoint of the micro individual, it is called Jivatma. But Atma is by itself is one and the same, which is existence, consciousness, Sat Chit. Now hereafter we will use the word Atma without qualifying it as Jiva or Parama. These two different words are used only based on two different standpoints. But from the standpoint of Paramatma or Atma, there is only one Atma. One more point, I say that the existence obtaining in the world is the consciousness obtaining in you. This is a general statement. But suppose I have trained you enough to identify with the consciousness instead of identifying with the body. You identify with consciousness, then my teaching will be slightly different. I would not say the existence obtaining in the world is the consciousness in you. I would not say, this I will not say. But what I will say is the consciousness which is you. So, what is the difference in you and you? If you identify with the body, I say the consciousness in you, meaning in the body. But if you have learned to identify with the consciousness, I would not say consciousness in you. Consciousness that is you. Tattvam asi. This is to be internalized, okay? It is not for pravachan. Don't vomit the same thing in the class. The children are your culprits. Bombard them with what you know, Tattvamasi. Don't do that. For your internalization. So the word Tvam is used by the Shastram, assuming that the listening students have elevated himself or herself to the level of consciousness. And then alone the teacher can say that existence is you. The consciousness is you. If the student has not elevated, the teaching should be existence in the world is the consciousness in you. So you decide whether it should be in you or you. It is left to you. Now we will enter the fourth verse which we introduced last class. Here Shankaracharya wants to point out that the Atma, the existence consciousness is ever evident, therefore does not require any special process to know. Knowing the Atma is not a special event taking place by your special effort. So it is an event in time. If I have to see the wall, it is an event in time. I had to turn in that direction and my mind should be behind the eyes, or the eyes will not see. The mind should be behind the eyes, and the light should fall upon the wall, and then a thought should take place in the mind, and that is called vritti parinama. And when that takes place alone, the knowledge of the wall takes place as an event in the mind because of the operation of the sense organ called eye. Simple looking at the wall, so much explanation is to be given. When you explain it, looks so complicated. We just see, but it is a very important process. And generally we think that Atma Jnanam is also such an event which has to take place at a particular time by your operation, by your effort or sadhana. And even now there are millions of sadhakas waiting for the event of Atma Jnanam to take place. Shankaracharya, of course, backed by the Upanishads, tells here that this is the biggest misconception in the spiritual field. Because if there is one thing which need not known in time, if there is one thing which need not be known in time, that is Atma. Because Atma happens to be of the nature of consciousness itself. And consciousness is that which is ever self-evident. And that is self-evident is evident because of our expression aham or I. So every time you use the word I, effortlessly the conscious individual experiencer is self-evidently available. I told you my experience before. I don't know you remember. During the pandemic time, I used to come in front of this Bhagavan, Radha Krishna, and stand and ask him, when are you going to give me darshan? I was nagging him every day. After 2 or 3 years, I think, suddenly a thought came. I was standing in front of him only. He must have given the thought. He said that I ever present in you all the time. Now the Vedic words also say consciousness, I as consciousness am present in you all the time. That compassionate Lord is with us in all our atrocities. Good thought, bad thought, evil thought, dangerous thought. In all of them, He is there with us. This awareness, if we have constantly, then what happens? He will guide you. He will take over your life. You don't have to worry about afterwards. Now, here, and this conscious nature of Atma is described or revealed by comparing consciousness to a light principle. Because the nearest example for consciousness is light, which is self-luminous, or self-evident. And this comparison has to be understood very well. Atma is often presented as light. The light of consciousness, and we use the expression light illumine the object which are non-luminous. For example, all of us are luminous or non-luminous. All the bodies are luminous or non-luminous. If the bodies are luminous even in the night, we would not have any problem. Without any problem, I can see you and you can see me. But you know the bodies are non-luminous. Now the sunlight is luminous, and because of the luminous sunlight, the bodies are visible. And therefore we use the expression, the luminous object illumines the non-luminous objects. This is an expression. A light means what? A self-luminous entity illumines the non-luminous entities. And the verb used is illumination. And what is the meaning of the word illumination? We will define in Vedantic context, because we will be using this verb illumine very often. It is a verb, illumination, but don't take it as an act. That is a beauty. So illumination is not an action. But in common parlance, it is what? It is an action, isn't it? But sunlight, sun illumines the world. Sun is doing any particular act? So the sun illumines the object on the earth means the sun makes the unknowable object known. If the sun is not there, even though objects are present, they will not be known. Therefore, in Vedantic context, illumination means making an object known. Illumination means making an object known, and whoever does this job is called a light. The illuminator is called the light. So the light illumines the object means an unknown object is made known by the illuminator, means light. From this angle, Vedanta says every sense organ is like a light. So eyes are like light, ears are like light, nose are like light, means nose makes the sense of smell. That is, the smells are known because of the nose. Therefore, nose is illumining the smell, and therefore nose can be compared to an illuminator light. See, all our sense organs are so sophisticated, highly sophisticated. Ears can be compared to illuminator of sound, illuminator light with regard to the sound. Similarly, tongue can be compared to illuminator light with regard to all taste. So what a beautiful instrument is this tongue. It does dual action, One is talking, another is tasting. That's why it is so dangerous. One equipment, one sense organ can do so many things. And that also, all taste it can taste at one time. Isn't it? Wonderful indeed it is. And all these people drinking alcohol and other things make that tongue so useless. And then later on they don't have all those pores, the taste pores, get what you call calcified, I think. Benumbed. And to have little more taste, they put some chilies and all that. So to instigate the tongue. Mexican chilies or that, some the different grades are there, chilies. My God. Now, the extending this principle, the ultimate light has to be consciousness only. That's why in Bhagavatam, wherever Bhagavan goes, there is a light around him. That's how the depiction is. Different colors of light comes around, above, from him. So, knowability of any object is possible only in the presence of the light of consciousness. For this one sentence only, I struggle so much. Knowability of any object in the creation is possible in the presence of the light. Do not imagine anything else in the light of consciousness. This is a very important topic in Vedanta, conveyed through famous mantra, Natatra suryo bhati na chandra tarakam nema vityudo bhanti kutoyam agnihi tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam tasya bhasa sarvamidam vibhati. This comes in Mundagopanishad and Kathopanishad also. And the essence of this verse is only in the presence of self-luminous light of consciousness. Everything in the creation is known, is knowable. This is the saram of that mantra, and Shankaracharya brings out the significance of the mantra in this particular verse. Now, to understand this, I'll try to give you an example. Let us imagine during the daytime the sun is up above in the sky and it is mid-afternoon, 12 noon. So the sun is self-luminous. It has got a light of its own. You need not use a torchlight to see whether the sun has come out or not, because it is self-luminous. Now you have got a room. Let us imagine the room in the house, and it is walled on all four sides, and the door is also closed. The windows are also closed, and there is no electric light also. Therefore, within the room, what is there? Darkness. No object in the room is seen. Because objects are not luminous, therefore you do not see any object. None of them is bright. They exist, they enjoy existence, but they do not shine. If there have been candlelight, you would have seen it, but all other objects, vessels, table, chair, book, all of them are not seen at all. Imagine you open one of the windows, the room continues to be dark, and what do? You take a mirror and then keep it in front of the window. And keep the mirror in such a way that it is under the sun. It is in the open outside, and therefore the sunlight directly falls into the mirror. The mirror is said to be self-luminous. You know that the mirror does not have a light of its own. If the mirror is in the dark room, you would not have seen it. So if you have doubts, go home and check for yourself. So the mirror is not bright. What did you do? You brought the mirror outside the room, kept it in the open, and therefore the sunlight falls into the mirror. And then the mirror, because of its peculiar nature, forms the pratibimba surya. A reflection falls on the mirror, and the mirror being very, very fine with a very fine surface, the reflected sun becomes very, very bright, and now the mirror has become a luminous mirror. Bright mirror. And what type of luminosity it enjoys? Not natural luminosity, but borrowed luminosity. And with the borrowed light, the mirror has become now an illuminator. Even though originally the mirror is not an illuminator, with the borrowed sunlight, the mirror has become bright. It has become a secondary light like the sun. So the sun is the primary light, the mirror is a secondary light. Because it does not have original light, but it is borrowed light. Now what do? Take the secondary light called the mirror and keep that at 45-degree angle, and then a patch of light emerges from the mirror, passes through the window and enters the dark room. The patch of light emerging from the mirror enters the room through the window, and the patch of light falls on the objects. Now what happened? All the objects in the room are illumined. As you turn the mirror in various directions, you can see every object. Okay. Now, based on this, we have to derive some corollary. First question I want to ask is, who or what illumines the dark room? The mirror or the sun? Big question, right? What is the illuminator of the dark room or the object in the dark room? Is it mirror or sun? What reply will you give? Suppose you say mirror. I will say try the same experiment during midnight. Does it work? Keep the mirror at the 45-degree and try to illumine. So mirror is not able to. So you cannot say mirror. Then somebody said, no, sun alone illumines the dark room, not the mirror. Then if you say sun alone illumine, remove the mirror, then what will happen? Again the room will continue to be dark. Because if the mirror is not there, with a roof over the room, the sunlight can never directly penetrate in the room and illumine. Therefore, mere sun cannot illumine, mere mirror cannot illumine. It is a combination of both the sun and the mirror. Sun and the mirror together illumine the object of the dark room. Okay. Since both of them are involved, just like a child is born because of both father and mother, in a particular context, you can highlight the role of father. In a particular context, you can highlight the role of mother because both of them are involved in the childbirth. Similarly, you can either emphasize the role of the mirror or you can emphasize the role of sun. But whether you emphasize this or that, both of them are required. Now the question is, how do you shift the emphasis? It is all in language. Here alone, the role of language comes. If you want to emphasize the role of the mirror, you use the expression, mirror illumines the dark room. But you know, mere mirror cannot. So you add backed by the sun. Put the sun behind, backed by the sun, blessed by the sun, having borrowed light from the sun, put these all as a clause. But the subject of the sentence is what? The mirror. The subject is always the important, the mirror backed by, blessed by, the mirror illumines the dark room, and you give further explanation. If somebody want, how did the mirror illumine backed by the sun? Mirror gets borrowed light. Become the secondary illuminator, and that secondary illuminator mirror illumine the dark room. So in this you give emphasis toward the mirror, and there is nothing wrong in the emphasis, because if the mirror is removed, even when the sun is there, there will be no illumination of the room. Now, you shift the emphasis to the sun also. And there, how do you present, change the subject? You do not say the mirror illumine, you say the sun alone illumine the dark room. But you know the mere sun cannot illumine. You want to acknowledge the role of mirror. Therefore, the sun illumines dark room through the mirror. So the mirror is given the role of a medium. So through the mirror, the sun alone illumines. Tired of mirror example? Like the rope snake example. And therefore, last one more point, okay? Then we can come to Vedanta. These are all not Vedanta, only examples. When you are seeing every object in the room, you appreciate the object because it is bright, luminous, shining object. And if you are intelligent enough, which you are, you know the brightness of the object. The knowability of the object is because of what? The mirror. And the mirror itself is capable of illumining because of sun. And therefore the perception of objection reminds you of the glory of the mirror, and the mirror in its turn reminds you the glory of the sun. Now what you are seeing is what? The object in the dark room. But you know that I see the object because of the mirror. The mirror itself is able to help me because of the original sun. Thus, every perception reveals the glory of the original sun. You do not ask for the proof of the sun. When you are seeing the object in the dark room, and what is the proof that this sun exists? When you are looking at your photograph, do you want a proof of a camera? Camera was there. Only others will laugh, isn't it? Every object you are able to see in the dark room because of the sun. Tam bhantam anu sarvam bhati. Tameva bhantam anubhati sarvam. Every non-luminous object shines because of the self-luminous sun up above. Now, coming to the Vedantic point, if this example is understood, the Atma is comparable to the sun. Atma is not the sun, okay? Atma is comparable to the sun. Just as sun has got its own light, Atma has got its own consciousness, it is self-evident. And the mind of every individual is comparable to the mirror. Mana mukura sudhari. Tulsidaji says, no? Sri Guru Charana Saroja Raja Nija Mana Mukura Sudhari. So mind is compared here with mirror. The mind of every individual, the inert mind, non-living mind, the material mind is comparable to the mirror. And the entire world is compared to the dark room. Entire world is comparable to the dark room. Now the whole world is seen because of two factors. The mirror-like mind and the sun-like Atma. This Atma and mind together, both of them are together responsible for the experience of the world. Atma and the mind, like what? The sun and the mirror together illumines. In this, you can give emphasis to any one of them. What are the two forms of presentation? You can say mirror backed by the sun, illumine the dark room. Similarly, we can say the mind experiences everything backed by Atma. How the mind borrows consciousness from Atma, just as the mirror borrows brightness from the sun. So too, mind borrows brightness and that mind illumines the world. So here the emphasis is on what? The mind alone. In Vedanta, when the emphasis is given to the mind, that is called pramatha. Pramatha. The consciousness-backed mind is called pramatha, the knower, and mind, the knower, experience the world backed by Atma. Here the emphasis is to the mind because that is the subject. You are getting it? So you don't have to go anywhere, don't have to make pilgrimages. You don't have to go to Kashi Yatra, Rameshwara Yatra and taking that 27 wells, taking dip, or Kailas Yatra, Manasarovar dip, icy cold. One dip you take, you come out, you know you are not the body. You know, it's a direct experience. So, why? Because wherever you are, whatever object that you see the presence of Lord. This is what told in Kenopanishad, there is upasana. Bodham bodham pratibodha viditam matam. Every thought, the moment you recognize a thought, what is that? Declaring the presence of Lord. So this, if we are able to do it, that is called meditation. All other things are meditation. And for this meditation, you don't have to sit in a corner, close your eyes. Walking you can do, cooking you can do, any activities you do, you can always be thinking about that. That's why in Bhagavatam it's all demonstrated. Gopis, whatever they did, they thought of Krishna, 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 isn't it? They churning the what you call milk, churning the butter, no, milk. Butter comes as a result, right? But they say churning the butter, right? Krishna, 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 Krishna. Getting up, they say Krishna, Krishna. Their eyes were eagerly waiting for him to come back from the Vrindavan with the cows and calves. They were waiting eagerly to see Krishna. That is what it is. Not missing every thought, the presence of Lord. But what happens to us is we get fascinated by the object of thought, you see. That is a trick of the mind. Mind gives you that, what you call magnified vision. It eludes you, entice you, so that you get distracted. Aho Maya. Now, here the emphasis is to the mind, because that is the subject. When we are seeing the world of objects. The second form of presentation, you don't say the mind illumines the world, Atma, the consciousness, illumines the world. Atma, the consciousness, illumines the world, but you have to acknowledge the role of the mirror. Mirror is very important. Therefore, you use the expression through the reflecting medium of mind, through the instrumentality of the mind, Atma alone illumines the world. And when the instrument is removed, what happens? When the mirror is removed, sun will continue to shine, but it cannot illumine the dark room. Once the mirror is removed, the sun will continue to shine, but it cannot illumine the dark room. The room will again go dark. Similarly, when the mind mirror is there, Atma illumines the world. When the mind mirror is closed, when do you close? During sleep. What happens to Atma? Atma continues to be self-evident consciousness, but the world goes dark. The world goes dark even during daytime, if you sleep. Do not try now, sorry, not now. After the class. Even during bright daylight, if the mind closes down, the world is dark, not because Atma is turned inert, not that Atma is turned inert. Because Nyaya philosophers say that during sleep, Atma goes inert. How can Atma go inert? Vedanta says Atma is like the sun, self-luminous, but the mind medium is closed. And therefore the world goes dark. Okay, therefore who is the illuminator of everything? Atma. And therefore whenever you are knowing anything, whenever you are knowing anything, every knowledge, Shabdas Jnanam, Sparshat Jnanam, Rasat Jnanam, everyone presupposes the light of, every perception presupposes, indirectly reveal the presence of Atma. You do not require a separate proof for the existence of Atma. Just remember the example. In the dark room, every object you see, it is thanks to the presence of sun. So similarly, Pratibodha Viditam, Shabdajnanam reveal the presence of consciousness. Sparshatjnanam reveals the presence of consciousness. Rupajnanam reveals the presence of consciousness. Even when there is no object, you say nothing is known. That nothing is known is known. That nothing is known again because of the presence of consciousness. And therefore Shankaracharya says, Janami. We say throughout the day, Janami means I know. So morning coffee, Janami. When I drink coffee, I know coffee has changed and something has come. Aham Janami. Aham Janami. In every knowledge, two things are evident. One is the invariable factor, Aham. Janami. Then what is variable fact? Various fact. Aham, object. Number 1, number 2, number 3. They are all evident because of Atma. And Atma is evident because of what? Self-evident. Not because of anything. As aham, aham, aham. Objects are all evident because of me. And the dependent evidence is called anumanam. Independent evidence is called bhanam. Anubhanam is dependent. Anubhanam. Now in this shloka, Nana Chitra Gatotarastita Baha Deepa Prabha Bhaswaram. Shankaracharya, instead of taking the sunlight, is taking another light as an example. He has made a slight modification, and what he has done is he takes our body as a pot. There is ஒரு சொல்லிருக்கு இல்லையா தமிழில், 4 மாதமாய் குயவனத்தேண்டி நந்தவனத்தில் ஒரு ஆண்டி தோண்டி கூத்தாடி போட்டுடத்தாண்டி. அதான் 4 மாதமாய் 10 months he has to carry இல்லையா. So this நந்தவனத்தில் ஒரு ஆண்டி, பியூட்டிஃபுல் சாங். அது தமிழில் இருக்கு எல்லாம், வேதாந்தம். So anubhatam bhatam. So bhanam. So in every perception, I, the Atma, am independently evident. Now the example here is, It takes the body as a pot. It takes our body as a pot made of clay, and our body also made of refined clay only. Minerals, like China ware, isn't it? It's also clay. So the body is like a pot, and within the body pot there is a very, very bright light. A bright light is kept, that light is called Atma. And the 5 sense organs are compared to the 5 apertures or hole in the pot. Imagine the pot has got 5 holes, each hole backed by mind, mind backed hole, and the light outside, it is all dark, midnight. So instead of dark room, dark night, in the midnight, the world is dark, there is no pot, there is a pot. Within the pot, there is a light. What happened? From the light, 5 beams will come out. So imagine a pot with 5 holes, and inside you put a lamp and close the top, the mouth of the pot, close it, and keep it in the dark room. What happens? 5 beams of light shoots. 5 beams will come out because there are 5 apertures or holes. And what happens? The light comes out through the 5 holes in the form of 5 beams, and any object falling within the beam of light is illumined. Similarly, I am the Atma, and I, the Atma, through the mind and sense organs. In the earlier example, we just took the mind. Now the sense organ also included mind and sense organ. Through them, I alone send 5 beams of light, as it were. Chakshu prakashaha, beam number 1, Shrotra prakashaha, beam number 2, Rasana prakashaha, beam number 3, like that. 5 beams of light. Light of consciousness I send out as though the entire dark world which fall within the 5 beams of consciousness, they are illumined. Therefore, Shabdam Janami, when I say I am independently evident, Shabda is dependently evident. How? I alone send the beam of light to illumine the Shabda. Similarly, Sparsham Janami reveals the dependence of Sparsha, the self-evidence of me. Similarly, Rupam Janami, meaning dependence, evidence of Rupam. Self-evidence of me, this is the meaning of the sloka. And now look at the sloka, whether it makes sense or not. Let us say, Yasya Jnanam. Yasya means Atmanaha. Atmanaha Jnanam. Jnanam Yasyatu. So Yasya Jnanam. So the light of Atma, the light of consciousness of Atma is what? Go back to the first line. Bhaswaram is brilliant because it has to create a long beam, so it can see even the farthest star. I am able to see. Therefore it is Bhaswaram, it is brilliant. Like what? Nana Chitra Gadotara Stita Mahadeepa Prabha. Like the Prabha, brilliance. Like the brilliance of Mahadeepam, a very bright lamp, so that consciousness of Atma is brilliant like the brilliance of a very bright lamp or big lamp. Where is it kept? Gada Uttara Stitaha, which is placed within a pot. So imagine a dark room and a pot is there upside down. And within the pot a bright candle or any lamp is kept. And what type of pot it is? Nana Chidraha, with 5 holes or apertures. So this is for what purpose? To indicate the self-luminous lamp and non-luminous external world. One is self-luminous, another is non-luminous. And here the problem is what? Self-luminous lamp is not able to directly illumine the dark room because it is covered by what? A pot with 5 holes. Therefore, cooperation of pot is required. Cooperation of pot is required, and the pot cooperates through what? The 5 holes. Therefore, we require a holy pot, and also we require a lamp. When both of them are there, hole is there. Holy pot means what? With holes. Like all our roads in India, there are holy roads. Lot of holes. Potholes. I cannot see what is behind this wall because it does not fall within the beam of consciousness. Does not fall within the beam of consciousness, therefore I do not see what is behind. But somebody is talking there, it falls within the beam of consciousness, coming out through the ears. Therefore that can be heard. Similarly, anything falls within smelling range, like somebody is making Vengaya vadai. Wow, aroma will spread. You can see in our Mela time. Powerful smell. Therefore, it falls within the beam of consciousness, emanating through the nostrils. It is known. But what is illumining? Neither the sense organ nor the mind. It is Atma Chaitanyam. And therefore, Atmanaha Jnanam is like the bright light kept within the pot with 5 holes. Bhavati. Gurudev once, he was in our ashram, and in front of his kudiya there is a beautiful almaram, banyan tree. They have cut it down now, but it was there. At that time there was not too many buildings. Our time, I'm talking about 74, 76. Now it's all, there's no place. All buildings. So somebody asked Swamiji, what are you looking? He was looking at the tree. I am seeing the object called tree bathed in consciousness. He is talking about this. He never misses that vision. Anything you say, whatever answer he gives, you can always see. Even Mukta Purushas. So bhavati you supply and put full stop. Atmanaha, Atmana jnanam nana chitra gadodara stita mahadeepa prabhavaswaram asti. Atmanaha jnanam. Nana means many. Here many means 5. Chidra means holes. Gada means pot. Udara means literally stomach. But here it means within. Stita means place. Maha means big. Deepa means lamp. Prabha means the flame or brilliance. Prabha means brilliance and Bhaswaram means brilliant. Brilliance goes with the lamp. Brilliance goes with the Chaitanyam. Chaitanyam is brilliant. Like the brilliance of the big lamp. Okay. And what happens daily? Next sentence. Tat, we have to supply. Tattu chakshuradigaranadvara bahihi spandate. That bright consciousness, light of consciousness, bahihi spandate, emerges out. Through what? Chakshuradigaranadvara, by means of the 5 holes, like the eyes, etc. Therefore, 5 beams of light are out already. And then what happens? Each beam of light falls on an object. One beam of light falling on Shabda, another Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha. I know means that has become knowable or luminous. That's the example, the pot in the dark room. It is not the natural light of the skin. It is borrowed from the sun. Similarly, every object I see, consciousness has fallen on that object. Every object, consciousness has fallen on that object. And therefore I use the expression, I know the object. Janami iti. When I say I know the object, the process of knowledge is only one. Verb is single, but on the 2 sides of the verb, there is a subject and there is an object. I know the pot. The subject reveals self-evidence. Object is dependently evident. Depending on whom? Me. Therefore, every janami reveals one dependently evident object and independently evident object. He therefore says, janami iti. In every perception, 2 things are evident. Bhanam, anubhanam. Bhanam, anubhanam. Never miss this truth. He wants to say, never miss this truth. So, earlier it was said Tattvamasi, right? That Tattvamasi, the 4th verse, he said, that Tattvamasi is available in you as what? As light of consciousness. That I, the light of consciousness principle, this I can be compared to sunlight or the candle light within a pot. What will happen to when the senses are closed? That we will see in the 6th verse. No, 5th verse. Deham pranamapindriyanyapi chalam buddhim cha shunyam viduhu Branta brisham vadinaha
Maya Shakti Vilasa Kalpitamaha
Vyamoha samharine Shri Guru Murtaye Namaidam Dakshinamurthy. In the first 4 verses, Shankaracharya has summarized the whole Vedanta. In fact, Vedanta in nutshell. If you want, these 4 verses enough. This alone is expanded in Prasthanatrayam. All the Brahma Sutra, all the Upanishad, all Gita, everywhere, this alone is expanded. And what is the summary of the entire Vedanta? I am of the nature of Sat and Chit. I am the Sat is revealed in 3rd verse. I am Chit is revealed in the 4th verse. If you take 3 and 4 together, I am Satchit Atma, formless existence consciousness. And in the 2nd verse, it is pointed out that the entire material universe, right from my own body-mind complex up to the farthest galaxy, rises out of me, the existent consciousness. Therefore, like space, I am all-pervading. Very difficult to grasp, right? I am all-pervading. Okay. I give you an exercise. Close your eyes. Imagine you are sitting in this hall. So, your body is seated in this hall. So, your body is seated in the hall, is known to you. Means what? It falls within your awareness. Not only your body, your neighbor's body also you can see in your consciousness, awareness. Now slowly lift that. Not only your neighbor, the person sitting behind, the person in front, all these come under your consciousness. Now lift that and imagine the entire hall along with all the 4 murtis sitting. They are also coming under your awareness, consciousness. Now think the entire building, that also coming under your awareness. You are able to bring it within your consciousness. Not only this building, but the entire, expand that, entire Cranberry community. the entire New Jersey, then the neighboring states, New York, Pennsylvania, the entire America, Canada, Caribbean islands, South Africa, Mexico, Europe, Bharat, Asian countries, China, Russia, in fact the entire earth coming under your awareness. Now lift that thought to sun, moon, stars and galaxy. Are they not within your consciousness? Now what is the distance between the awareness of your body and the awareness of the sun? In this, from the standpoint of awareness, there is no distance. Now you can open your eyes. Did you experience that? That is what Bhagavan here says. In you, the entire universe is. You, not as a mind. This orientation is the problem. You as Paramatma. But our orientation is what? Immediately Panchakosha comes. Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya Koshaha. That orientation has to go. We have to remove intellectually. Physically you can't do it. Intellectually, whenever we say aham, Tattvamasi Mahavakya, Tvam Padartha Shodhanam is that. Lakshyartha is Paramatma. And that has to come the moment we say aham. They call Bhagatyaga Lakshana. Technically we say so many words. But that doesn't matter. What is remove this orientation. That's the homework. For the whole next week. Then we'll come back and tell you. Deham pranam api indriyani bichala. Without knowing this, Shankaracharya says, foolish people think Deham, body is Atma, prana is Atma, Indriya is Atma, Chalam buddhi, big consciousness, Shunyam. These are all his This we saw in Mandukya. So that exactly is telling now. All right, we'll stop here today. Let's see, next class. Eham pranamapindriyanyaphi chalam buddhim cha shunyam viduho. Now why is Bhagavan Stri Balanta Chatopa? Why did he use the word Stri? I will tell you why. Okay. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vasishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om. Hari Om.